All right, MFFLs, it was 11 years ago today when Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks took down LeBron James, D. Wade, and the Miami Heat to win their first NBA championship. I want to know from you, where were you when the Mavs won Game 6 in Miami? Maybe some of you were at that game. Maybe some of you were at the watch party at the American Airlines Center. I'll tell you where I was. I was at my buddy's house. This was the summer going into my senior year of high school. Once they won, I sprinted down the street to the neighborhood pool, jumped in there. It was after hours. Didn't matter. Breaking the rules because they won the championship. That's where I was. Let us know where you were down in the comments. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into today's show. By the way, I was inspired by Deshaun Stevenson for breaking those rules. Shout out to a legend. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Dallas Mavericks Today. You guys sent in your trade ideas, so I picked the best ones, and I'll break them down for you guys coming up in just a moment. But I also got this idea from Bruno Pops. Not a trade idea, but did want to include it on today's show. He says, draft Kai Sotto and develop him into a legit rim defender and shooter. I think you meant defender there, says Depender. We talked about Kai Sotto on our draft targets video, and obviously polarizing figure, right? Out of the Philippines, he's, the face of that country in hoops right now, I would say, in terms of this NBA draft. 7'2", good wingspan, decent shot blocker, can shoot a little bit. Obviously has a long way to go. He's still a little bit raw, but hey, Kai, you want to play in Dallas if the Mavs end up with the second-round pick? I'd draft him. Some of you guys think he'll go in the first round. Pump the brakes. I don't think he's going around one, but I do think there's a chance he could get drafted, and hey, I would love for the Mavs to take him in the second round for very clear and obvious reasons. I would love to see that happen. I want to know from you, if you want the Mavs to draft Kai Sotto, speak it into existence and like this video. The more likes we get, the more likely that it happens. That is just how this works. Hit that thumbs up icon if you want Kai Sotto to end up in Dallas. All right, let's get to your trade ideas now. Troy's idea is he is up first here. Appreciate everybody for submitting theirs. Pacers-Mavs trade. Oh, Myles Turner. Got a lot of these. Turner and Buddy Hield to Dallas for Dwight Powell, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Sterling Brown, and a first-round pick this year. So it would have to be a draft night trade for the number 26 overall pick to be involved. I don't know if it's enough, but I will say this. Turner's been linked to Dallas for a very, very long time because he played high school ball in the North Texas area here. The Mavs have needed a big quality big man for a long time. For those reasons, he's been linked to playing here. He also was at one or two playoff games to come watch the Dallas Mavericks. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know if it means anything at all other than, it's his offseason and he's looking to have a good time. I like Myles Turner. Now, he had an injury last year, missed a lot of time, just played in 42 games, but averaged 13 and 7. One of the best shot blockers in the NBA. He's been that for a few years now at almost 3 per game. 51% for the field. Pretty good three-point shooter as well as a big. He can space the floor. He would certainly give you what you need at that center spot when he's healthy. Now, Buddy Hield obviously gives you another wing, another shooter as well. Not the best defender, but just a marksman from three-point range. So you get Turner and Hield, and sure, you're losing Tim Hardaway in this year's first in the trade, but A, you didn't have THJ last year, and B, first-round pick, 26 overall to get Turner and Hield, that's probably something I would do. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins this trade? I think the Mavs win it. Type M for the Mavs, type P for the Pacers. Get your votes in. Let us know who you guys win this trade, cooked up by Troy. Joaquin Luna's idea next up here between the Mavs and Bulls. Nikola Vucevic to Dallas for Davis Bertans and Dwight Powell. I get that Vuce had a bit of a down year, but you're still going to have to give Chicago a first. I mean, they're not going to take Bertans and Powell's contracts, which aren't great contracts, away from Dallas. They're not bad contracts, but they're not great ones. I just don't think Vuce's trade value is that low. I mean, you're talking about a guy that still averaged a double-double pretty easily in Chicago, still shot 47% from the field. Now, he didn't shoot the ball as well from three. He obviously is a deterrent defensively. He's not that good on that end. In fact, I would argue he gives you very little, if nothing. At least he rebounds, though. That is not something Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber do, but Kleber is at least a decent defender compared to Vucevic. Obviously, Vuce is a very talented offensive player. Could play pick and pop game with Luka. Not much of a roller, but he can post up some. Not saying I would not take Vuce. Let me be clear, but I don't know if he's the type of center that really is what you're looking for, that really unlocks this team. Is he an upgrade? Yes. Is he stylistically what you're looking for? No, he's not a great defender. He doesn't protect the rim really, so I would probably rather go in a different direction. I'd rather have Myles Turner if healthy because he does a little bit on both sides of the floor. Let me know what you guys think. Pick a center. Type MT for Myles Turner. Type NV for Nikola Vucevic. Who would you rather have on the Dallas Mavericks? Glib Vestein's idea, Jerami Grant to Dallas, who's been connected to trade rumors for a couple of years now, for Davis Bertans, Josh Green, and a 2022 first-round pick. Now, this is the kind of trade I'm here for. I would do this trade in a heartbeat, and I think Detroit would probably consider this, actually, to be honest. Now, Jerami Grant's a really solid 3-and-D guy. Didn't shoot the ball as well last year, but more volume for Detroit. Missed some time as well with injuries, but this is a guy that would come in. I think he would give you probably not 20 points per game, which is where he's been with Detroit, kind of low 20s, high teens. I think he'd be more like 17, 18 points per game, but he'd shoot the ball well, play really good defense, and give you another wing defender next to Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock. We talked about it after the playoffs. You need one more legit wing, or at least one more wing of some caliber that can help eat some minutes. You dump Bertans' contract. Green is somewhat of a developmental piece for Detroit to work with, plus they get a first-round pick. I think that could be a win-win scenario for all parties involved. A few more trade ideas to get to. Here's the deal. Subscribe to the channel, and you can be on a future mailbag when you submit your questions. Got to be subscribed first. That's the whole thing. It's that whole prerequisite. It's like you can have all the ideas in the world, but if you're not subscribed, we can't get to your questions. So hit that big red button. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. Let's continue to grow this channel. 17,000 subs is just around the corner. All right, Grayson Smith has an idea, a little Texas trade here. Christian Wood to Dallas for Dwight Powell, Josh Green, and a first-round pick this year. Maybe it's in the ballpark, 26 overall. Maybe it's a tick low. Maybe you have to throw in a second or something as well if you are Dallas. But I like Christian Wood. Double-double machine, 18 and 10. He can shoot the ball from deep, can roll as well. Decent shot blocker, much better than a guy like Vucevic in that regard. Vuce is probably a little bit more talented offensively, but Christian Wood might actually be a better overall player than Vuce at this point in time. And you look at what this lineup would look like with him, and after this trade, you plug Vuce into the middle. You got Luka and Brunson in your backcourt. This, of course, assumes you get Brunson back. Finney-Smith and Bullock, your wings, and then Christian Wood plays center. Then off the bench, backcourt of Dinwiddie and Hardaway. You still have Bertans and Kleber. You would probably need another wing in this scenario to go sign or trade for in free agency, but it'd be a nice lineup. I mean, the starting five would be excellent with a guy like Christian Wood if you're pulling off a trade like this. So I'm very open to this idea. Houston's kind of in a spot where you're like, okay, is Christian Wood a part of their long-term, rebuild? Maybe, maybe not. We just have to wait and see. But I think that trade value is pretty close in terms of overall compensation between the Dallas Mavericks and the Houston Rockets. Joseph Bosk, I believe, gets the final word here with this trade idea. Nikola Jokic to Dallas for Jalen Brunson. Sign and trade, obviously. Tim Hardaway Jr., Spencer Dinwiddie, and 2 first-round picks. He didn't specify, so I included this year's draft night trade and 2025 first-round pick. It's a lot. It's not enough, though. I mean, the Nuggets say no, right? Like, Brunson, Dinwiddie, and Hardaway, those are nice pieces. 2 firsts, sure. That's not enough for your Jokic. You're talking 4 first-round picks, probably a couple of pick swaps, and, like, a guy that can be at least one all-star caliber player. Now, maybe you're saying Jalen Brunson's that, but you're still 2 first-round picks short and probably another quality player short. That's the reality, because Jokic the past 2 years has arguably been the best player in the NBA. 1 MVP in each of those seasons. Now, maybe he should have won it this year. Maybe he shouldn't have, but these numbers are insane. I mean, look, 27, 14, and 8, and he shot 58% from the field. That's nuts with the volume he gets. I mean, that is a very efficient number. Now, I think a more interesting and intriguing thing for Dallas and Jokic is he's set to be a free agent in 2023. He's eligible for another Supermax contract extension Let's say he doesn't sign it. Then it gets real interesting. Then he's basically sending a message to Denver, okay, let's see how this year goes, and if I'm unhappy, I might sign elsewhere next year. We know Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic get along really well. The last couple of All-Star games, they've hung out, cracked jokes with one another, obviously both from Eastern Europe, and have known each other for a few years. They're good pals. That's well documented between Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. I think Dallas would be very interested in bringing him on board, but Denver would be stupid to trade him right now. I don't think the Mavs have enough assets to trade for him right now. But again, if he becomes a free agent next year and he's not on a new Supermax deal, that could become a possibility at that point in time. Will Luka and Jokic ever play together? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If it does happen, I do think it would be Dallas, not Denver, so keep that in mind.